Hello? Hello?
Yes, no Habu, we can hear you.
Hello all. Can you hear me? Okay. So I can see few of you nod your head. So thank you so much for your feedback. So welcome today, our data force. So welcome today, our data force workshop and contest. So all of you know we have 3 days like workshops, and after that we're going to have a contest on the things we learned from our workshop. So this workshop we are actually combined with the Northwest Big Data Innovation Hub, and in this workshop we have Raima Islam. So we all actually know about her. She's leading our STEM program in HerWILL. So Raima Islam is a recent computer science graduate from BRAC University. It's in Bangladesh. She's currently a research fellow under the Fatima Fellowship, conducting research on computation, biology, and machine learning at Harvard University and Stanford University. Additionally, she is an AI fellow of Italy Pi School of AI, exploring how to use large language model to solve business oriented solution. So we going to introduce our judges from today. So keep your eyes to our social media to get to know about our judges too. So for today's session, I will want to share some of the rules and regulation we're gonna follow. First of all, as we are in the workshop and we join from different part of the world to attend this workshop, so we'll be very much respectful to each other. So when I say respectful to each other, we in a comment section, we don't want to share any sort of personal information, or if anyone asks any sort of thing, questions, which you might find not relevant or you might find very silly, you don't need to actually bash them or any sort of thing. You're going to be very respectful. We try not to unmute ourselves or disturb any sort of like make any sounds or any sort of things that can disturb our workshop and interrupt it. At the same time, if as we make sure that all the participants will be like always stay mute, so we'd request, please write whatever you have in your mind or you have any questions on the comment box. We have few members just to follow up with the your questions. So after the session, we will reply on it. And most important thing is that while we're doing all this session, we wanted to turn on our camera because we wanted to make eye contact or understand your facial expression. It makes more human rather than talking to someone. And you might say, while I am the one who's talking, who's not in the camera because it's pretty late in my country. So that's one of the reason I'm not on the camera. So I'm so sorry about that part. So apart from all of this, we also wanted to make sure no drawing or any sort of thing while you are doing the workshop. We don't want that. So we will be very respectful toward that. If you have any question, feel free to email us. We will send back you the answer pretty soon and our email address and all the social media information will be shared in our comment box. So thank you so much. I like to invite Raima Islam.
Thank you so much, Nuha, for the lovely introduction and introducing our participants to all the rules and regulations of this workshop. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the Data Forge, where we will be teaching you all the data science skills you need. And after that, fun contest will be held where a lot of exciting prizes are awaiting for you guys. Therefore, to give you guys again a short introduction about myself, my name is Raima, and I have recently graduated from BRAC University with a degree in computer science, and currently I'm working as a researcher at Harvard University's Biostatistics Lab, and also as a artificial intelligence fellow at Italy's Pi School of AI. That Pi School is basically like the Y Combinator that we have in the US. So that's all about me. And without further ado, I think we should start our session for today. So let me share my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Like a short, okay, thank you. Therefore, I'll start the session for today. Now, what I could have done is, first of all, I would have gotten you guys in the coding part of the workshop, but I feel like from the responses that we have gotten till now, a lot of you guys have never really programmed, or this is your first time to coding. So I think it's important for you guys to first know what we are doing, what is data science, what you guys will be learning. So therefore, these are the contents that you guys will be learning for the 3 days. For day one, I have kept it a bit light to give you guys an introduction of what data science is and how you can actually get start working. For the day two, you will basically be working with how to make the data set or the texts ready for model training, which we do in data science. And don't worry about it. We won't be really teaching you anything that's too complex or difficult for you to understand. We have made the content as easy and easygoing as possible. And for the third day, we will be learning how to model train and get the accuracy and how our model is performing. So I would say day one is a bit easygoing. Day two will be a bit more intense compared to day one, and day three will be probably the most intense one, but it is not something that you need rocket science knowledge to know or to do. So don't worry. This course has been designed in such a way so that all of you can be very comfortable in learning new content. And at the end of the day, hopefully, all of you guys will have a data science project under your belt, which you can definitely showcase to your employers and in your CV. So, without further ado, I will start with the question first. So, what is data to you? Yes, I have written a definition here, which might come off as a book definition, but to explain it very, very simply, data basically means any sort of information. So whether you're checking your weather app, or you're sending a text to your friend, or you're listening to music, or even looking at pictures, everything is data to you. So I want to ask a question to you guys, so you can write it in the chat box. So what is data to you? It can be anything. It can be a data set which you get from the office, where you have to find out what's the profit for the next quarter, or any sort of movie you watch or music you watch. So I want to know from your perspective, what is data to you guys? So I'm hoping to get some answers in the chat box. Only two responses till now. Okay, anything which contains information, raw facts, everything logical information. Yes, sensory information and quantification and qualification, right? Stats, yes. Sure. Okay, most of you guys have given me the answers, and I'm getting a lot of interesting answers, and I can tell by reading all of your answers that you actually have a pretty good idea of what data is. So, with data, you can do a lot of things. You can analyze it, you can predict what's coming next, you can find out a lot of facts and a lot of hidden patterns. So with data, there is a lot to do. So since data gives us the flexibility to do whatever we want with it, so from there comes data science. So what is data science to you? So data science is basically explaining very, very shortly. These are some techniques or methods that we use to find any sort of useful insights or information or patterns, or even predict what the next sort of information that we will get from our previous data. And with those information that we collect using data science, from there on, we can use that information to help businesses, to help ourselves even, or even to manage our household. So you have a monthly data of how much money you spend each day or each week. So with that data, you can analyze using data science that how much should you spend the next month or the next week or the next day. So data science actually gives us the all the flexibility in the world to find out the best information, retain the best insights, and also do a lot of prediction modeling as well. Now, one thought or question that might come to you is that there are other tools as well for data analysis, such as you can use Microsoft Excel, Power BI, Tableau. So why even do data science? So if you have familiarity with Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets, you might think that, okay, maybe I'll write some sort of formula and I will get the answers. Maybe I'll get what is the total amount of revenue my business has generated in this month. So you can just use a simple formula. So why do I need data science? Why do I need to go a more technical or more computational method to find information? So suppose you're in your office and your boss comes to you and tells you that, hey, like this is the past 5 years report that we have on how many uh, suppose shampoo products that we have sold, and he comes to you and tells you that, can you please give me a report or an analysis of what will happen in the next 5 years? So if you try to do it in Excel or Power BI, you might be racking your brain up that, oh my God, how do I do this prediction analysis? Like I don't have the formula. I don't know how to do any sort of prediction that is almost correct to my business's context. So how do you do it? Do you stay up all night and trying to figure out a way? Or you couldn't come up with a solution and you go to your manager the next day and be like, sorry, I couldn't do it. Of course not. You will not do that or say that. So for these type of analysis, that is where data science comes and helps you. So if you know the correct ways to do these sort of analysis, try to do it in Excel, try to do it in Power BI, try to do it in Microsoft Excel, try to do any sort of complicated okay. So that is what data science helps you with. Therefore, let's move on to the next one. So examples of data science. From the responses that we have gotten, we have seen that many of you are very much new to data science or even to the world of programming. So just because you have studied something, suppose business, finance, HR, or communications, or even biology, that doesn't mean your life is totally devoid of data science. We use data science in our everyday lives. It is not something that is completely excluded from our lives just because we haven't studied it. So there are some examples that we use every single day. So I'm pretty sure everyone here is familiar with Google search. So when you search up something like, give me Japanese restaurants near me. So what Google does is it uses data science techniques and methods to make sure that you are getting the related things that you have searched for. You searched for Japanese restaurants which are near you. So it will see where your location is, and if there are any Japanese restaurants near your home, so those will be given to you as suggestions. So these are using data science modeling. For Google Translate, so you are probably learning a new language or even talking to someone who doesn't know your language. Suppose you're learning French. What do? You come across a problem and you cannot translate or understand what the French person or the French movie is saying. What do? Do you just tell yourself, okay, no need, I don't need to know what that person is saying? What do? You just write the same thing and get the exact translation of it to your own language, that what is that person saying in French, I can finally understand what it is in my own language. So that uses data science techniques as well. And if you are a fan of watching movies, TV series, or even listening to music just like me, Netflix is probably the perfect example of which uses data science all the time. So you search up something like you want to watch a TV series, Squid Game probably. So you search up Squid Game. What it does, it will give you TV series related to Squid Game, which are survival games, maybe survival game shows. So maybe Alice in Borderland from Japan, or any other survival TV shows which are related to Squid Game. Or even when you listen to music on Spotify, you listen to a certain genre, such as K-pop music. So when you're listening to Korean pop music, what it will do is it will give you similar music as well, so that the song you just listened to, you can keep listening to similar music and not get bored. So that is how data science is completely integrated into our lives. Therefore, you all have your own reasons for coming to this workshop and learning data science with us, but there are data science is not about just being with the times and adding new skills. There are so many things that you can unlock when you learn data science. So it is actually one of the most in-demand skills right now, because data is everywhere, as you guys have mentioned in your answers, that there are billions, trillions, zillions of data all around us. But are we actually making good use of the data around us? We are not. Are we getting the proper insights? Are we finding the right information? Are we using it to our advantage? We are not doing that. So that's why, if you see most companies, we are in the fourth industrial revolution right now, and it is mostly towards making technology more accessible, introducing technology to no matter which business we work for, be it factory made consumer goods or manufacturing goods, anything, whichever industry you are in, tech and data science, it is an integral part of business today. So with data science skills and data analysis skills, you have all the qualities to qualify and get a job as a data analyst or a data scientist anywhere in any company, which is very much needed for every company that is out there. Your career opportunities, it doesn't matter which background you come from. Are you from communications? Are you from biology? Are you from finance? Data science is applicable everywhere, because doesn't matter which background you're from, it can be applied to whichever medium that you're studying in. You have to make financial analysis. For communications, you have to read through a lot of articles and find out the summary of the article. Or biology, you have to find out that which cells are mostly active in a system. You can definitely do that. It doesn't matter which background you come from. Data science is for everyone. And with data science, we can actually unlock the proper, excuse me, give me 1 minute. Therefore, with data science, you can find the correct patterns of information. You can find out the most relevant ones, the most important ones. So, like I said, when you do the analysis, you can find out patterns and trends in your information. So that will help you eventually help you make the right decisions, whether it's for your own life or for the business you work for. Means you will be ahead of everyone who doesn't know data science. And as you can see, I'm pretty sure most of you guys here have used ChatGPT already. So when you know that when you're familiar with such technologies, for example, already so many competitors of ChatGPT are already emerging. So like Gemini, it literally released a few days ago, and already people are debating whether we should use ChatGPT or Gemini. So when you understand such knowledge of data science, you'll be able to make those sort of analysis as well. Should I use ChatGPT? Should I use Gemini? Or should I use Bard? And entrepreneurship. As I said, that while data science is one of the most in-demand jobs or skills to have right now, most companies still don't understand that how they can incorporate data science into their business. So if you know the skills, you can definitely offer your data analysis skills to those businesses and maybe help establish your own company as well to help with the data analysis of companies and contribution to innovation. It is very, very important to stay with the times and move with the times. Even if this is something that you have never done, I believe that in our world today, we have access to information everywhere. It's just at the palm of our hands right now. You are just a Google search away from learning about a new technology. So when you know data science, you are broadening your horizon into many, many different skills, knowledge, and even who knows, you can come up with some new innovative ideas as well to contribute. Who knows that maybe one of you guys sitting here after the workshop might be one of the biggest creators of technologies like ChatGPT as well. You never know. So this is why it is important to be with the times and stay with whatever relevant technology is being shared. So I think I have shared a lot about what data science is, what's the power of data science. So now I think it's high time that we dive into our exercise today. And from the email, I think this has been shared with you guys. If you haven't gotten the link yet, can you please write it in the chat box? I will share it again, the link, because in this environment, we will be learning the code of the data science project that we will be doing. So does everyone have this open? If you don't have it open right now, can you please write it in the chat box? Because this is the environment that we will be coding in. Okay, guys, since most of you guys have said that you have it open, I'll still give 1 more minute for everyone to open this link, because if you don't have this open, should we open our own renamed copy as per the yes, you have to do that. But for the ones who couldn't follow the email yet, I will still show the entire process that we have written in our guidelines when we sent you the email. Because if you start coding on this file, none of your progress will be saved. So it is important that you follow what I show you right now. And the ones who have already made the copy by following the guidelines that were shared in the email, you can open that copied file right now and start working from there directly. It's your wish whether you want to write the code right now or later, because the recording of this class will be shared with you guys. So you can do it in your own pace as well if you feel like you don't have the time right now to do it. All right, I guess we can start. So if you have this file open, what you have to do is you have to click on File and then click on, you have to click on File and then you have to click on Save a Copy in Drive. So it is creating a copy. Now the copy is complete. Click on Open in New tab. So a new tab will be opened. Has everyone been able to follow what I have did till now? Or should I show it again? Okay, some people were nodding, so I guess you could do it. And after that, you have to rename it. So what are we renaming it as? Like this. So when you want to rename it, just click on here and paste it, whatever I have given, into DSP, which stands for Data Science Project dash movie review analysis, your name. So just write your name here. Okay, now it is saved in your Google Drive. Okay, I'm moving on. And the next step, you have to change the runtime. So after changing this, I will explain to you why this is important. So when you click on runtime from the top left sidebar, when you click on runtime, click on change runtime type. So Python 3, this is okay. Click on T4 GPU. After you click on T4 GPU, click on save. Was everyone able to follow up till now? Or should I show it again? You can write it in the chat box that you couldn't follow or you want me to show it again or not. Again, okay. So when you click on runtime from the top left sidebar, can you guys please specify from which state should I show, or should I show the whole thing again? Okay, runtime. Okay, so Nazifa wants the whole thing to be shown again. Okay, no problem. So when you click on the link that we have provided, the environment that you will be coding on, when you have gone there to that website, you have to go on File. When you go on File, what you will do is you will click on Save a Copy in Drive. You will click this. Could you follow up till now, Nazifa? Okay. So when you click on it, you can see that a copy has been made to your Drive account. Now, I have mentioned that it is very important that you click on the original file and you click on Save a Copy in Drive, because if you start directly coding in this file which we have provided, all your progress will be lost. So if you're working very hard in following whatever that code I'm showing now, it will all go to waste. So it's very important, guys, that you follow along and keep a copy of this in your Drive account. Just follow the way that I have shown. And after this is done, when you go to the copied file, which is saved in your Drive account, just rename your file so that it's easy for you to navigate. So it's very important when you're coding. This is just a rule that you have to follow, that the naming conventions, whatever you name your files as, it has to make sense to you. Because if you start coding regularly and you see that what did I even code, you will get confused yourself that what did I even work on. So it's very important to have meaningful naming conventions to your files. So data science project dash movie review analysis, your name. So just write your name. Okay, so now what you have to do is change the runtime. So on the top left sidebar, click on runtime and change runtime type. Just click on T4 GPU from hardware accelerator and save. That's it. Now, to give you a small brief about what the project that we will be working on, it is on the basis of sentiment analysis. So, what is sentiment analysis even? So, sentiment analysis is, I will give you a very small example. Now, I will tell you guys a review of a movie, and you guys will write it in the chat box whether my thoughts of the movie, was it positive or negative. So I'll start. Yesterday, I saw the movie called Mission Impossible by Tom Cruise. I thought the stunts were a bit boring and the movie was way too long. I actually did not like how the movie was directed, and the acting could have been better. So the movie, I did not really like it that much. So can you guys write it in the chat box whether you thought my review was positive or negative? Okay, everyone is writing negative. Okay, very good. So that is basically what sentiment means. What you feel about something. Movie, a book, a TV series, a song, a food that you ate, a cloth that you bought, what you feel towards it. That is basically what sentiment means. So from what I can gather from all the answers that you guys have given, you guys perfectly understood what sentiment means. So what this project does is, from the IMDb website, it has taken a lot of popular movies, almost 50,000 movies, and what they did was they have taken the reviews of actual people into their data set and how they felt about it. And from that review that was provided from actual people, what they did was they classified or they put a label to that review, as you guys did just now when I said that I did not like the movie. You guys wrote that I feel negative about the movie. They did the same thing. They created a data set with people's reviews and what they feel about the movie. So this is basically what the project is about. What we guys will do, what all of us will do for this workshop is apply data science to this project, to movie reviews, and see how people are feeling about this movie. We will try a lot of different methods, a lot of visualization methods, and try to understand what the data set is giving us. Therefore, let's start. So when you go down and go to day one, from here we will start. So if you see the whole file, you can see that the whole project is categorized into three parts: day one, day two, day three. So if you follow along in day one, you can, as I have already mentioned, that I have kept it a bit light for day one because I don't want you guys to get too intimidated that why is it so difficult. That's why I kept it a bit easy. But from day two, it will be a little bit more intense, and day three is where you will feel a bit challenged that uh, this is what data science actually does. But if you pull through it, I can promise you, you will be ahead of 99% of people right now. Like, you have the data science skills, you have the knowledge, you have a project, you are ready to go. You are almost, I would say, better than the rest. That's what I will promise you from this. So let's start. If you click on step one, while I have written something like setting up libraries and installing packages, what I want you to do is, I want you to click on this part, plus code. So did everyone do that? Did a code cell appear? Okay. Before we start, what I want to do is, there is a sort of like a tradition when someone is new to coding, which I want to introduce you guys as. So before we start all the data science coding that we have to do, as for most of you guys, this is your first time coding, there is a mandatory practice for everyone who learns for the first time to code, is to print hello world. So is everyone here familiar with hello world? Can I get some yes or no's in the chat box? Yes? Okay, a lot of you guys are aware of it. So that's actually amazing, because unless you print hello world, you have not been properly introduced to coding. So it's a must that everyone follows what I have to do. Someone has already given the solution in the chat box, so please follow along. So just write print and give bracket and give the double quotation hello world. You can even write something to commemorate this eventful uh, memory for you, that hello world, this is my first time coding. So what you have to do is just click on this button, which is to run the cell, and you will get the output. Oops. I'm sorry, give me a minute. So Google Colab, it takes a bit of time to connect to the servers. Yes. Now we have gotten our first output, which is hello world. This is my first time coding, or first coding. So was everyone able to get this output? Can I get some yes or no's in the chat box? Okay, great. So congratulations, everyone. You have been introduced to the world of coding. Let's hope that it's all a great experience from here on. Somebody said to please repeat. Okay. So what you do is you click on step 1 and just go to plus code here. And just write the statement print, give the brackets and the double quotation, hello world. So that's what you have to do. Hope it could be followed. Okay. Now we come to libraries. Okay. Now you are being introduced to real world coding. So hello world was a very, very easy part of coding. Now you come to the real world applications. Don't get intimidated. Don't get scared. It's very, very simple. So what are libraries actually? So let me tell you, for libraries, what you have to do is, these are basically, okay, so when I tell you that, hey, can you cook a pizza for me? And you are like, well, I don't know how to make pizza. So how can I cook it for you? So so if you still feel like that you still want to cook pizza for me, what you will do is you will buy some store-bought pizza, or a pizza where a frozen pizza. What you will do is you will put it in your oven, you will bake it for a few minutes, and then be like, hey, I cooked pizza for you. But you actually didn't. You just bought a store-bought pizza for me and gave it to me. And I was like, oh, let's enjoy this pizza right now. So that is exactly what libraries do. You don't have to write the entire thing yourself. You just have to write a small part of it small part of code, which is like one line for each library. What that will do is it will help you do a lot of calculations, visualizations, and data science modeling as well. So for this project, we will be using quite a few libraries. So, and these are quite common, which you will be using as a data analyst or as a data scientist. So these are the libraries. One is called NumPy, which is for any sort of numerical operations, or arrays, which I will be explaining to you later. Why do we use NumPys? Because while I am showing you a small data set, when you work on real data sets, it's going to be huge. It will be a few GBs or terabytes of data that you will be working on. So it is important to use the libraries which are efficient and perform a lot of mathematical calculations. The next one we'll be using is called Pandas. So what Pandas does is, okay, you have a data set, but you want to bring the data set to your code base very easily. So what you do is you use the Pandas library here to do any sort of data manipulation. You only want the most important ones. You want only the first 10 information. You want the last 10. You want it to describe what each column represents. You use Pandas for it. For Matplotlib, it's used for plotting any sort of graphs. So what do you do with information? You have lots of information, but if you can't analyze or see which information is relevant, it's it's futile to even have such data. So it is important to know how to make data analysis. So using Matplotlib, you can see it for yourself through visualizations, any type of graph you want, whether it is bar chart, line chart, or box plot. Matplotlib is the library for you. Also Seaborn. So what Seaborn does is, for the Matplotlib library, it makes it a bit more beautiful in comparison. You don't like black and white or simple color visualization. You want it to be a bit more beautiful, a bit more customized. You want to use the colors which represent your company. Seaborn is the library for it. And NLTK, which is the Natural Language Toolkit. If you are not aware, so natural language processing, it is actually a subset of machine learning. We will be learning natural language processing for this workshop, but using natural language processing techniques, you can make the data, your text data, ready for data science modeling. So it is very, very important for you to know the NLTK library as well. Don't worry, I will be explaining each and every single thing. And also scikit-learn, or otherwise known as sklearn. It's basically, so scikit-learn is actually helpful in loading the data science models that we will be using to analyze our data, to see how it is performing, how our performance is. So using scikit-learn, we will be importing or bringing in the models which we will be applying to our data set. So these are the codes that we have to write now. And what you have to do is, let me show you one example. Import pandas as PD. So I could have just written import pandas. Why did I write import pandas as PD? Because as you can see, pandas, it's a pretty big word. When you have to write it a lot of times, pandas, 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 I'm pretty sure your hands will start hurting. And I would say that pandas is actually a relatively smaller word. When you import more libraries, these are very, very big words. So you don't want to tire your hands already. So it is very important to use a shorter version of the original name so that it is easier for you to work on. So after you write import pandas and as PD, click enter to go to the next line. And what I will do is I will give you guys all the libraries which you have to import. So you can just copy paste and put it in your code. I'll still write it here. Import numpy as np. Keyboard as SMS. So just do an entire Control C, Control V in your data and just click on Run Cell. Oops. Okay. So has everyone been able to do up till now? Can I get like yes or no's? So what you do is just copy paste the code that I have given you in the chat box and paste it in your code cell and just run it. For copying it, just click on the message that I have given you, take the whole thing, click on Control C, and when you paste it, just click on Control V. Okay, so if that is not working, you guys can follow along with me here. Okay, so what you do is write each line with me. Import matplotlib dot just a disclaimer, you actually don't need to memorize these sort of things because even the best of the best programmers, what they do is we just copy it from Google and paste it because it's like a lot of things that you have to write. So it's actually not possible for everyone to memorize what's given here. And if by any chance you are not being able to follow the code that I am doing, don't worry at all, as not only the recording will be shared, but the code will also be shared as well, so that it is easier for you to learn the code at your own pace. Okay, I have written the thing. Let's hope I don't have a typo. One more thing. If you have a typo in your code, it's not going to work. That's one of the, I would say, challenges of coding. So make sure you have zero typos in your code. Okay, I did not have any typos. So maybe you can just copy paste what I have or not. I think a lot of the people cannot copy it from the chat box. So maybe I'll give it 5 minutes or 3 minutes for you guys to write whatever I have written in the code cell. And after you guys are done, let me know. Okay, Maisha is done. Sure, take your time. It's okay. I'll still copy and paste the libraries here just in case you guys are able to copy paste it. Because if this step is not done, we won't be able to move to the next step, as all the steps are dependent on the steps we did previously. Oh, and another thing, that I want to mention, that day one, day two, day three, whatever that we are learning, it is important that you do the day before. For example, if someone attends from day two, you won't be able to follow because it is important to have the code of day one. And if you just attend day three, you don't have the code of day one and day two. So you won't have anything done by the end of the workshop. So it is very important to uh, attend the workshops, and if you can't, to at least watch the recordings and follow the code that we will send it to you. And Nazifa, yes, the codes will be provided to you guys after the session is done. So don't worry about it if anyone is not being able to follow. You can definitely refer back to the video that will be sent to you guys about this meeting today and follow the code and do it yourself at your own pace. Okay, it seems like a lot of you guys are done here. So what I will do is I will move on to the next step. So step two, it is accessing the data. So what we will be using is this data set here. So I would have pasted the dataset link in the chat box, but it seems like a lot of you guys can't access it. So what you guys have to do is just click on this link. It will take you to the dataset. Now, I know it's a lot of data. You might get confused, like, oh my God, what do I have to do right now? Don't worry. Just copy the link. That's it. Just copy the link like this. Click on Control C, and on this code cell, just write URL equals to, in quotation marks, single or double, up to you, Control V, equals to, sorry. Were you guys able to do this? Can I have some yes or no's if you were able to do this? Just click on this link if you want to access the data set. Copy the link here and declare a variable. Just call it URL for your convenience, equals to single quotation marks, and inside the quotations, paste the link. Okay, so I think Jesse wants to know the process again. And Sadia, I think maybe there is a typo in your code. So so what you do is quotation mark, it's up to you, whether it's double or single, up to you, whichever one you prefer, both works. So you declare a variable called URL and click on the equal sign and give double or single quotation. I'm giving single here. Just Control V and run the cell. Okay, your variable has been declared. Now you might be wondering, what am I saying by just talking about variable, variable, variable? What is this variable? So suppose what I did was I stored this link into the URL variable. So which link are we pasting? Can you see, can you go to step 2? And if you click on this, you will be redirected to a website and just copy the whole link. That is the link that we are following. Okay. So what is this variable thing that we're doing? I'm pretty sure that in all of your houses, you have a box or a drawer where you keep a lot of things. So maybe you named the box that this is where I keep my stationery. So stationery box. So when you say inside the stationery box, you have your pens, pencils, and erasers, sharpeners, everything. So when you say that I am keeping a lot of different things in this box becomes the variable. In the variable, we are storing information or we are storing some things. So this is why variables are important, because you can just go and write the link every single time you want to use it, right? The whole thing becomes very redundant. So it is very important to use variables. Suppose, let me show you an example. Let's say A equals to 4, B equals to 3, and C equals to A plus B. What I do is I want to see what is the answer of C. You don't have to copy, you don't have to do this. I'm just showing you an example why variables are important. So as you can see, the answer is 7. But I could have just simply written 4 plus 3 here, right? And I would have gotten the same answer. So, but why am I using variables here? So what if I tell you that D equals to A by B, or E equals to A minus B? What do you have to do here? So will you every single time will you write the numbers? No, this is a very redundant thing to do and very, I would say, a waste of time. So what we do is we store the information in a variable and we can reuse it as many times as we can. So that is what the example of variables are. And now what we will do is we will again declare a variable, and what we will do is we will load the data. So let's write it. Data equals to PD, we are calling the pandas library here, because as I have mentioned, using the pandas library, we can load the data, we can manipulate the data, we can read the data. PD dot read underscore, as you can see in the suggestion box, we are already getting what we should be doing. So PD dot read underscore CSV in the bracket. So dot read underscore CSV bracket is actually a function. So inside the function, we will load the data URL. And by declaring the variable and calling the pandas function and loading the data inside this function, we have officially loaded the data into our code base. Are you guys able to follow till now? Can I get some yes and no's in the chat box? I am pasting it here. And I think I saw a message that someone was getting some syntax errors. Were you able to solve that? Let me paste the code till now in the... Okay. Now, what I will do is we will try to see what sort of data we have. What is the condition of our data? It is very important. And what I will do is, wait a minute. I will call the head function. Head function. You don't have to write this. It's just for your explanation. So using the head function, as the name suggests, the head, you will first see the first 5 rows of the data to see what is the condition of our data, how the data set is. Very, very easy. Just write data dot head bracket. That's it. Just write that and you will see the first 5 columns of what your data set looks like. Okay. Are you guys able to get this output? You can see there are 2 columns. One is the review column, which has the reviews, and the column beside it is the sentiment column, which is positive and negative. Okay. I'm getting yeses. All right. Let's wait for 30 more seconds. One more thing, as you can see, there are a lot of texts here. I've also written the text that I am explaining right now so that just in case you don't want to watch the video, you don't want to refer to the video again, you can just read the text. It says the same thing what I am repeating to you guys right now. Okay. So for the third step, what I did was I used the head function. Why did I use the head function? As I have mentioned, that we want to see what's at the top. So the first 5 rows of the data set, we want to see that what is the condition, what sort of information it has. So what I did was we stored the data set in a variable called data. The data set is stored inside the data. So what I will do is I will write data dot head bracket and just run the cell. Yeah, that's it. That's what you have to do. Very, very simple. Now, describe. What I want to do is now find out what is the summary of the data. So what are the total number of rows we have? What are the total unique values we have? What is the frequency of the data that we have? All sort of information like that. So same thing that we did till now, data.head bracket. What I will do is I have already written the function here, data.describe bracket, and just print it. I am pasting the code in the chat box. As you can see, we can get an overview of the data set that we have. What is the total number of reviews we have? 50,000. Total number of sentiments, 50,000. What are the how many unique values we have in the review? 49,500 something. And sentiment 2. Well, can someone please tell me why the unique values of sentiment are only 2? Because we have only 2 sentiments, positive or negative. So what is the topmost value? Yes, Maisha, you're right. The topmost row, what sort of information does it have? So as you can see, the review and the corresponding sentiment. The first row is giving us information of the first row. And lastly, it's the frequency that there are 25,000 value of frequency of sentiment and there are 5 frequency of reviews. Okay. Now, what we will do is we will try to see that we just want to see the information of what the what one column, what sort of information is the first column giving us. So you don't want to see the overall data set now. You just want to see that, no, I just want to see one specific column. What sort of information is it there? Very easy. Just write print data in brackets, square brackets, okay? Not round brackets this time, square brackets, single quotation, write the name of the column, review. I'm just copy pasting it. You can write it by yourself as well. And here you can see that in the first row, this is the review. In the second row, this is the review till the 58,000. One more thing I want to explain. So this is something that you will frequently hear is that the rank or the number in coding actually starts from 0 and not 1. So you are probably confused that you are seeing 50,000, the length is 50,000, but it ends at 49,999. So this is a coding convention that whenever that we are starting numbers, it always starts from 0. Okay, so because as you can see, this is starting from 0, the last value is 49,099. So which makes it a total of 50,000. So this is how the uh, review column looks like. And now to do this, what we will do is we will count that for our sentiment column, how many positive and negatives do we have? What is the frequency? How many times is positive appearing? How many times is negative appearing? Because as I said that currently we are doing data analysis. So you can move the code that I have written, like just remove it and write, you can store it in a variable or just see that if you want to directly access the information as I have done here, that I did not store it in a variable, but just for the sake of it, let's store it. Let's name it sentiment counts. One more thing, guys. When you are naming variables, as I have mentioned, just like the file name, variable names also have to be relevant. Because if you just write, if I just wrote SC, but I want to use SC somewhere, and later I'll get confused. What does even SC mean? So it is very important to have proper naming conventions so that it is easy for you and for your teammates as well. Another thing, when you're coding, it's not a single effort. When you're working as a data analyst or a programmer, you're working in a team. So whatever code you write, others need to be able to understand that as well. That's why naming conventions are very important. It should have meaningful names. So sentiment counts. What I will do is same thing, data in square brackets, right? Sentiment, the name of the column, dot value counts. As I have written, we will use the value counts function to find how many positive and negatives we have. And let's display the data. Print sentiment counts. Here, as we can see here, there is an equal distribution of positive and negative reviews. So positive is for 25,000, negative is also 25,000. So with this, we can see that the data is equally distributed, but unfortunately, we don't live in such utopian world, when you get real data yourself, you will see the distribution is all over the place. It won't be as nicely distributed as this one. That's why when you start working with more code, when you try experimenting more, you will get used to it. And I think I saw someone commenting in the chat box that can we do machine learning modeling on data which have more labels other than positive and negative? Yes, obviously. As I have mentioned that the project that we are doing, we are sort of living in a very utopian world where everything is very organized, everything is very simple, but unfortunately the real world is far from that. So you will be getting data which has thousands and thousands of labels: positive, negative, neutral, angry, sad, happy, so many things. So when you do the preliminary ones as this one, you will very much get used to what is about to come when you work as a data analyst or a data scientist. So if you guys are done till now, can I get some yes or no's in the chat box if you guys are done till now? Done. Okay, so all I want to say is congratulations, everyone. You are officially done with day one content of the data science workshop. So this is what we have done till now for day one. And the coming code that we have to do, it's for day two, as I have mentioned. So we will start from tomorrow. And as I have mentioned already, that from day two, it's going to get a little bit more intense as we will be learning natural language processing to make our data ready for for sending our data for data science modeling. So you guys have to brace yourselves, and believe me, it's not that difficult at all. You guys will very easily be able to understand it. And one thing that I would like to mention is, since most of you guys are new to this, I have made the content as easily digestible as possible for you guys to understand with real life examples. So if you guys want the theory behind what we are doing, what I will do is I have already attached a lot of articles in this code as well. If you guys read the comments that I have written under each step, you'll be able to find some things, some articles. So you can read the theory behind the libraries that we are importing, the code that we are writing. So that's all for today. And what I will say is, before you start coming to the next class, I would say is just read through this information. You don't have to fully understand it, just read through so that you have it in your mind that this is what we will be learning. And I guess I will leave you guys be, and please don't leave just yet. There is an attendance form that you have to fill up, because we have already mentioned in our email that you have to attend all 3 sessions in order to get the certificate. And this certificate is actually endorsed by NSDC, the National Student Data Corps, which is located in United States, is actually one of the most premium data science institutes in the world. So if you have an endorsed certificate from them, trust me, you are at, what would I say, you have a worldwide standing and recognition compared to others who are doing any sort of local workshop. So this is an internationally organized workshop. So make sure you guys are leveraging this to your advantage and getting opportunities for yourself. So please, guys, fill up the attendance form and the feedback form so that it is easier for us to curate this workshop, and it is easier for you guys to understand. All right, so fill up the attendance form. It is already given by Nurjahan Rupa, that message, and also the feedback form.
Thank you, Raima. All right, everyone, make sure you can hear me. Our chat is currently hosting the feedback form and the attendance form. Like Raima said, this is required for your certification, so please make sure you fill that out before exiting the meeting. Regarding the recording, it will be sent to you later tonight, along with information about tomorrow's session as well. You'll receive the meeting link for tomorrow's session, as well as a link to our YouTube channel where this recording will be posted. I highly encourage you guys to watch it again, follow along, and if you still have any other questions, come tomorrow with questions ready in the chat box and we'll answer them as they come. But overall, great work today, guys. Thank you again, Rima. You did an outstanding job. I learned a lot and I was very excited to attend. Besides that, please, again, everyone, make sure you fill out these forms. They are required for your certification.
As Farhana has mentioned in her chat box, that NSDC is actually an organization which is led by Columbia University, which is an Ivy League university located in New York. So it is a very, very, very big deal and a curated workshop that you guys are getting under them. So it is very important for you guys to attend all the 3 workshops and the classes and get a certification from us and NSDC. So therefore, guys, don't miss this opportunity. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Also, please come on camera very quickly. We want to take a screenshot for our socials. So if you all could just come on, turn on your cameras, and then give us a smile, and we'll go ahead and take a screenshot for everybody. Okay. Let me know when you guys are ready. Just please go ahead and give us a smile. Okay. And we've got it. All right. Please make sure you're filling out these forms. Once they're filled out, you guys are free to go, and we're looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Yes, once you've submitted the forms, you can go ahead and log off. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, guys, if you are done filling out both the forms, you can take your leave and we will meet tomorrow, as Yasmina has mentioned.